Welcome back to Danny Robertson Music, where we're here to help you become the performer that you're meant to be. I'm Danny Robertson. Thanks for joining me again this week. Today, we're going to do something we haven't done in a while. We didn't do much of this in 2024, but I wanted to take a look at a great entertainer who has recently made history in the record books as far as their performances go, as far as their ability to do something really special on stage. And of course, I'm talking about Taylor Swift. She just recently, about a month ago, finished the Eras tour that she had been on for about 2 years. And that tour did a lot of great things. It is officially the biggest tour in history in terms of its finances and what it was able to do. And so, whether you love Taylor Swift or you can't stand her, this is something very, very notable to look at. And as a musician, we should be paying attention to this because this is the kind of stuff that brings in ticket sales. It makes fans for life. And we can do this kind of stuff even on a smaller scale in our own communities. Okay. So I want you to understand that we're going to look at what Taylor Swift does so well that makes it so that people want to go and see her perform everywhere in the world. So we're going to do a couple of things here. First thing I want to do is point out a couple of things. The tour went on for about 2 years and it went through 149 shows in 51 cities and 21 different countries. So the show went on for, I don't even think it was a full 2 years. I think it was March 2023 to December of 2024. And they hit 149 shows in 51 cities in 21 countries. Now, to put that in perspective, I did about 30 shows this year, and that was plenty for me. Most of my shows were either local to my area or within about a 2 to 3 hour drive from my home. Doing 149 shows in 51 cities in 21 countries in less than 2 years is a lot of work. Just the amount of work that it would take to pull that off is amazing in its own right. Just think about all the stage that has to be moved around country to country, all the people that she would have had working for her. I'm guessing it's in the hundreds that would have had to get all of this equipment from place to place, get themselves through customs, get to all of these different events and be on time for everything so that they can pull off the shows. The tour had 18 different opening acts, including people like Paramore, Haley Williams was awesome on it for a while. Sabrina Carpenter has made a name for herself in the last year or so. She had, I believe, at least 15 surprise guests. I think guys like Ed Sheeran showed up. Each show was typically about 44 to 46 different songs, which, being a musician, I know that in my average show, I will do a 3 hour set with about roughly 35 songs. So that is a lot of performing. That's a 4 hour show, easy. And here's the important one that a lot of people have noted is that the tour itself grossed over $2 billion in ticket sales. And it has been proven that it boosted the local economies in the areas that they went over and over again. Every single location that they went to, they were able to boost the economy. She did so well with this tour that she was able to pay out bonuses to all of her people that were working on the tour with her to the tune of $197 million. So that's the numbers. And the reason why this is such a notable thing is because it has officially become the biggest tour in history. It did better than the Beatles. It did better than Elvis. It did better than Michael Jackson. I mean, Taylor Swift has officially hit the upper echelon of stage performers. And whether you like her music or not, she is somebody to watch as a musician and learn from. So more importantly with all of this, I want to talk about an article that I read that came from the perspective of Taylor Swift's bass player that played the tour with her live. It's a gentleman named Amos Heller who has been with Taylor Swift since about, I think, 2007. I believe he is the longest running musician that has toured with Taylor Swift. And he had nothing but glowing things to say about Taylor, her vision, and what she has done for the world and every musician around her. So here's an article that came out from People magazine about Taylor Swift's longtime bass player. He writes this emotional note about how the tour helped him. He's emerged changed after a long, hard, painful, but fun tour. And I want to point out a couple of things. He points out this. So Heller is 47. If you want to look up Amos Heller, he's all over YouTube. He's been interviewed. He's done his own videos where he's played bass and showed off some of his basses. But he's not a young guy. He's almost 50 years old. And he could just call this a paycheck. But he doesn't. He really goes into how great this person is that Taylor Swift is. He says, it's done. No more lobby calls, no more airports, no more lugging a suitcase and mono bag up an escalator, through a line, out of baggage claim, no more warming up, no more cooling down, no more looking at my watch 20 times to make sure I don't miss a call. No more saying goodbye to my family, no more how many sleeps now? No more jet lag. It is done. He's obviously worn out from all of this. When you go out and play music, even at a local level, it's a lot of fun, but it does take a lot of energy. It wears you out, especially if you're doing it at a high level. He puts no more slipping into new languages, cultures, cuisines, accented pleasantries, snow in Tokyo, watch factories in Switzerland, museums in Sweden, bass shops in Australia, steaks in Rio, tattoos in Ireland, runs in Germany, flowers in Amsterdam. I like that one. But he puts a couple of things that I really like here. So he puts, walking into the ringing stadium each night made him feel like a gladiator. And he got to enjoy screaming lyrics with a perfect stranger who is now your best friend. So this is something that I really enjoy about this article. This is something that I preach to my own bandmates, and I try to practice it on stage, is that you are making a memory, not only for yourself, but you're making a memory for your fans as well. So what you try to do as an on-stage entertainer is find ways to make connection. He's doing this partially because Taylor Swift is doing this, and she is the epitome of connection, emotion, and relationships as a performer with her fans. So let's talk more about that. So he goes on and talks about the rest of the tour. You know, as a player, performer, I've emerged changed as a player, as a performer, a person, a partner. You know, backstage after the final curtain, he let himself sink to his knees for a bit. We lived a lifetime, and if you think it felt like a graduation, it did. He goes on to talk about his boss, Taylor Swift, and how much she means to him. He says to Taylor, you command so much respect and admiration from everyone who's fortunate enough to add their efforts to yours. Your blend of focus, heart, stamina, and joy calls forth the best in everyone around you. Thank you for trusting me to be a part of your vision. It was the ride of a lifetime. I love you. How many bass players do you know that say something like that about their singers? He obviously feels that much admiration for Taylor Swift, both as his bandmate and his boss and the lead singer of the performance and everything like that. But he didn't have to say any of that. I think that trust that she's built with both her bandmates, her people that work for her, her fans especially, she has created lifelong friends out of people that will never meet her. That is something that we as musicians need to learn about ourselves as performers. It's not just playing music. It is about building relationships and showing everyone that we're not just robots playing an instrument on stage. We're real people, and we like to have fun, and we want our fans to have fun with us. Just building small relationships one step at a time is something that each one of us can do. Each one of us can go out into a crowd, and when we're not playing, instead of hiding in a green room somewhere or going to a table with your bandmates or hanging out with only your friends, You could go meet a few people. You can go say hi, say thanks for coming, give them a hug, make some friends, do somebody a nice favor, take a picture with somebody. That kind of stuff goes such a long way to building a lifelong relationship with somebody that is coming to see you play music. Okay? It's not always about being a great musician. A lot of the time, it has to do more with being a great person. Now, let me go back to Taylor Swift with this. And I want to point out, so a lot of us know that she has been dating Travis Kelce from the Kansas City Chiefs for a little bit of time now. One of the things that was pointed out about Taylor this last year was that she went to go see a lot of those football games. And while she was in one of the spots where she could watch from, they would serve drinks and food and things like that. And while they were there to enjoy the game and have some fun hanging out with amongst their friends and family, Taylor was caught cleaning up after people would leave plates and cups and things like that. So she would clean up that area to try to make it look nicer. And she wasn't asked to do that. That's the kind of person that she is. There's a reason why Taylor has her own brand of fans, the Swifties. It's because she is an expert at building trust, creating an emotional, not just a connection, an emotional connection. A reason that a fan doesn't just stay a fan. They become something more than that. They become a friend. They become part of her family. And if you and I can do that as performers, we don't just build a fan base. We build lifelong friends and family. The kind of people that will want to spend holiday dinners with us, the kind of people that will give us hugs because they care about us so much and we care about them. And that is the kind of emotional relationship that you want as a performer, because that not only makes them fans for life, it makes them family. So whether you love her music or you hate her music, if you're a musician or a performer, take a look at Taylor Swift, learn from her, because there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot that you can gain as a performer by just watching what she does. So that's it for this week. Now, if you do want to dive deeper on these kinds of topics with us, check out Danny Robertson Music. We have a whole bunch of different ways to look at the other facets of performing that you are not probably thinking about. The way that you speak to your audience, understanding the ebb and flow of your performance. And, instead of giving your audience a collection of songs, you could create this slow and growing elevated journey to make it into much more of an experience for your audience. So if you want to dive deeper into that, take a look at DannyRobertsonMusic.com. But in the meantime, best of luck on your next performance. Take a look at how you're connecting with your fans, how you are able to make that emotional response, make that emotional connection with your fans like Taylor Swift did. Best of luck to you, and we'll see you soon. Take care.